Our newest support, Corvus, recently made his way into Ranked. I'm seeing him get picked, but I'm not really seeing players use him to his full potential. Corvus is a very solid support. You can run him in basically any comp and he'll do well. Players seem to know that, but what players don't seem to know is that Corvus can be pretty damn broken when paired with the right characters, and in my opinion, if you're picking Corvus, then you should also be looking to get those characters alongside him. Now, before I go over what those characters are, I want to talk a bit about Corvus himself. Corvus becomes a main support when using his Spreading Influence talent, since it allows him to heal up to 3 different allies at once. The double mark also allows him to give the benefits from both Grand Design and Crushing Expectations to 2 different allies at once, so he's able to effectively pocket certain allies while also being able to effectively keep his team up. The characters he breaks are the characters who make use of the bonus lifesteal and the speed the most, while also stacking their own lifesteal onto the lifesteal that Corvus gives them. Their self-sustain goes through the roof and greatly increases their odds of coming out on top in a fight. Let's look at who those characters are now. Vivienne is a fantastic one because not only does Vivienne put out consistent DPS that can also be buffed by Opportunity and Chaos, mind you, but Vivienne also has her Runic Ammunition card to stack with Grand Design. And yes, there are of course diminishing returns, but it still adds up. Then Vivienne of course gets the Corvus speed to stack on top of her 1 step ahead speed as well. I also want to point out that Vivienne's barrier allows her to block Cauterize in a lot of cases, so that lifesteal is going to come in at its full value. Vivienne is tanky, sustainy, fast, and deadly, and Corvus amplifies that by quite a bit. Next up is Koga. Now Koga doesn't have inbuilt life rip, but he does have both Trigger Happy and a Wind's Embrace, so you'll be buffing the Corvus healing you receive from both his right click and Grand Design, while also stacking that healing with Wind's Embrace that's also getting buffed by Trigger Happy. On top of all that, you can cleanse Cauterize whenever you feel like it with his dashes. Corvus' speed card will also stack with Koga's agility too, of course. Before I go on, I want to say that if all these hit scan characters I'm listing do well on PC alongside Corvus, then imagine them on console with a Corvus. Sounds absolutely insane. Next up is Mowgli. So this character is still pretty map dependent. You don't want to pick her on big maps, but for the maps that the character is good on, Corvus completely breaks her. Mowgli needs to get in close to be effective, and the Corvus speed helps her do that. Then Mowgli of course has both Greater Good Life Rip and Symbiotic Bonus Healing to pair with Grand Design. Her barrier can also of course cleanse Caught and allow Corvus to full heal her without any worries. The amount of sustain Corvus allows Mowgli to have is unparalleled. Next up is Victor. Victor doesn't really care about Corvus speed all that much because he can sprint. It does stack, but it's not a big deal. The big deal is stacking Grand Design with Predator. Victor's Burst Mode talent allows him to get heavy and consistent DPS out at a great distance, so he's definitely making fantastic use of all that lifesteal. Now I think those 4 are the best ones to pair with Corvus, but there are some others that pair really well with him too. One is Tyra. Tyra has a bit of inbuilt life rip in her base kit to pair with Grand Design. Not a lot, it's only 15%, but it's still pretty good. The main thing is that with Tyra's DR build with Mercy Kill, you're incredibly bulky on top of very sustainy with all the life rip. The speed is also really nice since Tyra doesn't have any movement abilities. If you don't know what the DR Tyra build is, I have a video about it. Look in the description below for the link, or click the thing at the top of the screen if I can figure out how to put it there. Never done it before. Next up is Talis. Talis has crazy sustain. He has Guts for DR, and for lifesteal he has both Primeval Might and Perseverance to pair with Grand Design. You can easily hit the lifesteal cap with all that put together. It is nutty. I'm pretty positive that the cap for life rip is 60% by the way. Also, Talis is small and hard to hit, so him having bonus speed is also fantastic. Talis with Corvus is probably insane on console, because it's already really good on PC. Not a lot of people have realized that Talis is good on PC yet though. The COT nerfs worked wonders for him. So my fellow PC players, I'd wake up and make use of that because odds are Talis will see a nerf to his crazy self-sustain. I know console has been begging for a nerf to Talis for a while, and that's probably the best place to hit him. Kanessa is also a great one. Not really because of the speed though, it's mainly because Kanessa has True Grit, and this isn't lifesteal, it's a flat heal, so it has no diminishing returns with Grand Design. Pair those with the amp from Steady Aim and you'll be healing for about half your health for every full attack you fire. It's ridiculous. Kanessa has a ton of damage, a solid escape, and with Corvus, Kanessa can have amazing self-sustain on top of that. A good Kanessa with all of this is terrifying to go against. Last up is Lex. Now Lex is not a great character, but he pairs well with Corvus because he can have lifesteal through his The Hunted card. It's only lifesteal against your marked target, but it's a whopping 50%, so you can pair it with Grand Design to hit the cap. Lex puts out a lot of damage, so you're going to be getting great lifesteal value. He also does well with the speed since it stacks on top of all of his speed bonuses. Now I don't really recommend Lex over anyone else on this list, but I still feel like I needed to list him. I know Lex is getting some love in the future, so when he gets that, he'll probably be amazing with Corvus if Corvus doesn't get nerfed. But yeah, that's everybody. Now of course, Corvus makes every character he buffs better. That's what buffs do after all. But this video was about listing the characters that pair with him the best. Again, Corvus breaks all these characters. Maybe not Lex, but all the rest of them, yeah. He makes them very difficult to deal with early game, and in some cases, even late game. So if you're out there attempting to get wins in ranked, I would highly recommend attempting to go for some of these character combos. There's too many to ban. However, banning Corvus stops all the combos from happening in the first place. So if you fear the combos, I'd recommend banning Corvus. I've gone so far as to first pick Corvus for my duo, and then pick one of the several DPS options I have available to me to make the combo. Also, to add on to all that, you can also buy Life Rip and Nimble on really any of those characters to further increase the amount of sustain and speed you get. I don't call this the sustain meta for nothing after all. Anyway, what do you guys think about Corvus and his character combos? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. And that's pretty much it, guys. I want to thank y'all for watching, I very much appreciate it, and I'm gonna see you guys laters. Bye!